Hello, fellow nerds! It's almost a year ago since I posted my first, and so far only, video in what I called a hopefully to be series of me recreating archaeological builds in Minecraft. While I've touched on the subject in my Let's Plays, I feel it's time to revisit this kind of video, and since I'm lazy and apparently lack any kind of imagination, I'm hereby presenting to you Archaeologist Builds Parthenon in Minecraft version 2. In the first iteration, link in the description, I was limited to the blocks then available in the game, but mentioned that some of the blocks coming to it last year would probably be a better fit for what I aim to accomplish here. Let us also have a quick refresher of that. Hello again! Welcome to this potentially to be series of me, an archaeologist, building old stuff in the funny block game that we all love, Minecraft. Here I will attempt to recreate structures as realistically as possible when it comes to material, size and shape. Looks is not what is important, which is part of what makes it fun, as I will attempt to translate stuff from the real world into the somewhat rigid constraints of Minecraft. This will be the second version of the Parthenon that I've built in-game, with double the time of game experience. Yes, I picked up the game in 2020 and immediately had to grieve a decade of missing out. The Parthenon, the real one that is, was constructed of mainly two materials: limestone for the base and pentelic marble for the temple itself. There is no block named limestone in the game, but the mechanics of dripstone is essentially mimicking the way limestone behaves in real life. There is also no marble block, and no, I will not use quartz. But we now have calcite, which so happens to be one of the main components of marble. So these will be my two main materials to work with in-game. If you like building stuff, you might know that these blocks have no variations. No stairs, no slabs, no bricks, no buttons, no nothing. So let's see where this takes us. Gathering the materials for this build took me quite a while, especially the calcite. I was hoping to stumble across a surface vein, but had to settle for geode hunting. I lost count of how many I had to mine, but I know I spent more than 30 hours on it. That means it's montage time. The limestone was easier to find, and I could also trade for it, so it didn't take me nearly as long. In the end, I gathered 4 double chests each of calcite and limestone, as well as a ton of other resources. I now have 119.5 stacks of amethyst blocks and over 200 stacks of basalt from geodes, as well as 28 stacks of copper ore, 22 stacks of iron ore, 10 stacks of gold ore, almost 5 stacks of lapis ore, nearly 4 stacks of diamond ore, and I don't have all the redstone and coal saved because it was simply ridiculous after a while. Parallel with all the mining, I also prepped a location for the build. I remember there was a lump next to the one I built my first Parthenon on, and success. It is big enough that I won't have to spend more than a few hours on terraforming. I don't like building hollow terrain, so it takes some extra time to build it all out. I started by leveling the whole hill before making a rough outline of the total area needed. once filled in, I created a more organic geometry on top. I then finished off the plateau with dripstone to represent the limestone hill and base the temple stands on. Well, if you paid attention earlier, you might notice we have a problem here. I had mainly used written sources when researching details regarding the construction and materials in the Parthenon, and they were not entirely clear when differentiating between the base of the temple and the temple floor. I had understood it as the base and floor being made out of limestone, but if you look at the picture I showed earlier, it is clear that the floor is also made out of marble. So I'll be fixing that at a later point. Next I planned out where the walls and pillars should go. This way I could easily shuffle things around until I got the best lineup with the plan I'm working off of, which worked out much better than last time. Though these columns are just as impossible still. In the first version I had some centerline issues, so this time around I made the width of the building an uneven number of blocks. This solved basically all the problems with column placing and spacing in here. Time for some vertical work. The outer columns are straightforward, 2x2x10 blocks, and the next line in gets to follow as the closest approximation of the IRL ones. Now we get to the walls of the temple rooms. The outline we have here serves as the larger blocks of marble that the bricked walls are resting on. As mentioned, there are no other blocks of calcite than the basic one, but there are so many other brick options, and I did use stone for the last one, so maybe I could... Oh, wait. Did I not just spend days collecting calcite? Will I change my mind because it might look boring? Isn't the point I'm trying to make here that things might look off? No, it will all be calcite. All of it. All of the marble, that is. Like last time, I have looked up some ideas and suggestions for how the top part of the Parthenon might have been constructed, and an inner support work and ceiling of wood seems widely accepted. After some low-intensity web sleuthing, I found a total of one source of what kind of wood most likely have been used for this. Oak is one that we have in Minecraft and that I can use for the ceiling. For the support beams, a coniferous wood seems appropriate, so spruce it is. I fiddled around with this for a bit, placing the beams so that they are supported directly all the way down to the ground. That's not really based on anything, I just prefer to build that way. Feels safe and logical, you know. I then plopped on the roof, but apparently I lost my footage of that, I can't find it. Oh, and there goes the floor. Might as well add in the water basin that I forgot last time as well. I also didn't add the acroteria in version 1. Unfortunately, they were not made of gold, but marble. The detail. There was an accident. I could easily mob-proof, but I simply will not. And if you think about it, conflict and explosions are part of the Parthenon's history, so this could be argued to be more accurate. While we're in here, may I present to you the wonderful Athena. She was made from ivory and gold, if I've understood it correctly, but Minecraft Athena is solid gold. Gorgeous. As you can see, I've also put in some lighting that may or may not be historically accurate, and I've fiddled around with some simple wood detailing. And I think that's it. I think I'm done. Wow, compared to the first one, this was a lot faster, even with the resource gathering. I guess the past year of block gaming has made some difference after all. Well, let's see if I can throw in some shaders on this thing without melting my poor PC. Time to show off.